Hello, welcome to the Heart Story. There's something that literally, look, my throat is itching. There's something that was dying to get out as I was going through my photos to make space and realizing the life that I've lived the past year. The message is, if you feel like someone's trying to make you smaller or someone enjoyed when you were suffering, they did. It hurts to even say this because I'm looking back at myself when I was going through it, and I look lifeless. Yet the people I would have, not to say it was everybody, this wasn't everybody, but the people I would have expected to, chime in when I was looking like that, they didn't. They just thought that's just how it's supposed to look. But then cut to now where I'm taking care of myself and I'm putting myself first, and like they've been saying, I'm the star. This is exactly how I'm feeling. I'm heartbroken and I feel like a fool. Because certain people that I thought was the loves of my life, they sat there and was trying to make me small. They sat there and they was happy when I wasn't shining bright, and when I was shining bright, they tried to make me shine less. They shamed me. They put me in a negative mind space and my negative energy. They made me feel insecure. And it was always projection, because that's how they're feeling, because they're seeing me shine. So the message is if you felt like they're trying to dim you like they were, you felt like people liked you more before they did, and the why is because you too much to be around now. You make people uncomfortable now. They felt comfortable being around likeness, and what's coming to mind is pretty blunt, but it's basically they felt comfortable being around trash. And I don't even know why I felt so hurt to say it. I think it's the fact that knowing that they see me in that way. But then there was a conflict because I think every time I would try not to act trashy, it would be reinforced. Every time I would try to stand up, something bad would happen. And it got to a point where I started shielding it myself. I started fueling it myself, because that's what I started to believe, that I'm looking the best I can. I started to believe that that dull look in my face was normal. The way that I look alive right now, but before I was numbing myself so much, running so much, avoiding, ignoring, hiding so much that the life was leaving me. So much so that I was getting sick. But it's a sickness of environment, so what I'll tell you is when it's a sickness of environment, sickness of what you're doing, there is no there's no signs in your body. So you just keep getting sick, and then you go to get help, but they can't help you with nothing, because there's nothing wrong with the body. Your body might even be the best thing you have, because it has your feet, and you need to run away. I don't know if you can see it, but it pains me. Like, I try to stay, like I said, in this energy, run away. You try to stay strong. You try to see the best at everything. Because if you really sat there and accepted things for the way that they was, it would scare you. It scares you to know that if you really put in the hard work, that the people that you love could also be your ops. It's easier to do the who has the worst life competition. It's easier to let yourself go. Ooh. I'm gonna read those because it was only 2. I don't know if I manifested this, but I was like, yo, if the chariot come out last video, the chariot's here now and the empress. But basically I was saying that because it's about driving the bus, taking the wheel, grabbing the reins. But basically what I was saying was is easier to be fat. Put it simply. Maybe not for everybody, okay? Maybe not for everybody. But for most people, like think about Americans, because I'm in America. Which I'm not going to make this about my culture, but especially my culture, being big is seen as normal. I'm in my feelings right now. I'm out of control. And that's the fear, y'all. Not in me. But the fear is standing out. The reason why celebrities really are at the high rise, or they're somewhere and we don't know they were there until after the fact. I be on that in type time. And there was a situation in my reality that proved to me why I be on that type time. And I didn't know I had to be on that type time. I just naturally fell into it. And that's something that's been happening to me a lot lately. Trust in my heart. That's why I'm the heart story. Because there has been things that I don't understand mentally, because I never went through it before. I don't understand people well. So there are things that logically I couldn't explain. I wouldn't have seen the danger. I wouldn't have thought that there was something wrong. But within my heart felt it. Within my body. My heart and my body, they felt it. And they wouldn't perform. That was the biggest sign. And literally as I'm saying this, look at what's in my hands. Look at what's in my hands. Which that first card is things aren't always as they seem. Things may be closer to falling apart than you know it. Now you're feeling betrayed and backstabbed. You're not understanding how this goes by when all you ever did was be nice to people. And that's just it. It's easier to be mean. Like, it's something about the harder path that people don't choose, because certain things are easier. It's easier to fit in. It's easier to cope. It's easier to be fat. It's easier to be stupid. It's easier to be without skills. It's easy. And then you get content in the life that you live. And instead of doing more, you do what's easier. See, look, easier keeps coming out in a weird way. Easier. But that's the easiest way. Oh, okay, what fell out? Wow, that was by accident. I split the deck and then these two fell out. So that could have been because of the last reading, but I mean, things so far have been happening, like, I think the way that they're supposed to. And I think these videos, when I eventually do post them, they're going to meet the people that they're meant to. And honestly, this moment has changed a lot for me because I was already planning on changing the course of my readings because I was planning on getting a new deck and I want to get some crystals. But there was something screaming for me to sit here and do these readings. I've been up all night. I've been up from sundown to sunup, rethinking my decisions, realizing how I've been letting go of my biggest power of all. Because there are women without choice. I'm saying people because I don't want to make my readings gender-based, but me as a woman, there are women out there without choice. There are women out there who never will know the things that I know, who will never get the experiences that I got without some type of, not to say that I've never been through certain things, but they're going to be in an arranged marriage before they experience half of what I experienced, you know? Like, that's what I mean. Like, they get the littlest for so much of them. They have to give their lives for so much, and not just, I don't know if I said a certain type of people, but not just those people. There are just women out there, especially women out there that have to live in a very certain way where they are limited choice. But that first part of the reading was very powerful. I almost want to cry for you or cry for me because I'm in the same boat. Feeling betrayed. Feeling like you did do the hard work. You thought, oh, if I just get out of this one situation, and if I just work on this and that, and if I just look great, happiness is in store for me, but it wasn't. You really thought that if you just take control of all these things, that you wouldn't be in this position right now, but you are. You still have a lot of stuff left over. Like, you still did the hard work. So that's the thing. You can't regret the hard work that you've done. You're still loving the way you look. Now you're doing it for yourself, and you see why now people say that, because people actually like you more when you're smaller. You can be vice versa. Like, I'll say you could be that hot girl and you date a guy for his personality, but he still breaks up with you because he's like, oh, you're too hot for me, you're out of my league, and he can't handle being with you because you're out of his league. Like, it could be something like that, or vice versa. You can be the guy who's ready to handle everything, but she still breaks up with you because she just doesn't know how to handle that type of opportunity, so she still walks away. It's something like that, where the things that you did, they did pay off. They are showing up. You are shining. You are the star. You are looking different than the rest. You are living differently than the rest. You may not be at the 1%, but you're not living like the average person. You may not be the emperor, literally, but you still are the king of pentacles. So you may not be an emperor, but you're still a king. You may not have it all together, but you're still making a choice to be in the situations that you choose to be in. You actually love yourself. That's the thing about being proud of yourself. When you put in that hard work, you're not fully there yet, but basically what you're learning now is when you put in that hard work, it don't really matter what anybody else say. It gets to a point where people can be attacking you and you wouldn't even think that that would be a decision in their mind. You wouldn't even think the attack is for you. That's how much secure you're in yourself. That's how much you walked out of those burdens. That's how much being by yourself doesn't affect you. Either way, it doesn't affect you. And they hate that about you, because if you are the star, like you shining brighter than them. And then they can't even control you. They not better than you. You have too much power. And the power dynamic, when somebody's, especially when most people are looking for power, that's what they juggling between. They're looking at what opportunities and powers do they have. And when they realize with you, they don't have any, they started an argument and ran. They realize with you, they don't have the power because you just naturally hold the power. You naturally are this Nine of Pentacles. This Nine of Pentacles is not even the Queen. But you still do have your shit together. Oh, I'm not supposed to curse. The Nine of Pentacles is not even the Queen, but you still doing well enough to where your stuff is together. And people are realizing they're running away because they looked at you in the wrong way. They didn't think you was as bright as you were. I'm getting the people who are around you usually choose safe options. Man, they thought you was a safe option. Who you turned into was too dangerous. The people you were around, safe options. People that don't rock the boat. But it's not even just rocking the boat verbally. It's physically, it's financially, it's mentally. It just seems like for you, you can go through stuff and you bounce back. No matter how hard people try to drag you down, you still don't look bad. No matter how hard people want you to struggle. Look, literally on this card right here, it says improvements. Improvements underway. So even no matter how bad, but delays around it. Renown, glory, place of worship. No matter how bad somebody wants you to struggle, you still always working so hard on yourself that things still come. Like you may be down for a day. You may have 1 or 2 things off, but you still have the other 3. And out of the people that do none of it, 3 out of 5 is still better than the rest. It's something like that. Like you usually on, like, okay, let's say you usually on your 10 out of 10 energy. You take care of everything. You do everything head to toe. But when these people try to attack you, okay, they knock you down some points. The attack makes you lose 5 points. But you still 5 out of 10. Even if that's mid, right? That's still better than average because most people don't even reach mid. Like you would hear, oh, mid is average. Most people aren't even mid. Like most people are really ugly. They don't even make the mid status. Like mid is like okay. Most people are not mid. And you just don't understand why your places that are supposed to be for having fun and love and all the work that you put into it, you don't understand why they keep getting the worst judgment. And it's because you outshine them. And even though you not looking at it in this way, even though you're not attacking them, or you're not even coming off as this queen either, you just being happy. I guess that's the worst part. Hold up. That's the worst part. There's so much stuff that people not saying to you that they want to say but they know is wrong. They feel like you should be running away from them. They don't understand why you keep putting yourself in this situation. After a while, they started to think ill of you because they couldn't understand why you were still there. They was thinking like, if I was you, I would have left. If I was you, I would have looked at my options and did something different. I would have walked away. That's literally what they saying. Like, they looking at you, they looking at all the stuff that you have available, and they don't even know all the stuff that you have available because you knew better than that. I'm getting that this is something that's been happening to you all your life. It's like being robbed. It's like you want to have the nice stuff, you want to have the good stuff, but then once you have the good stuff, then you become a target. You want to have the nice bag, you want to have the nice whatever, and you probably had to learn that early on because you already a target with your natural self, your natural light, your natural looks. So then you add stuff on top of that. You the brightest red target there is. You the world to them. 'Cause like I said, most people don't even make it to that 5 mark. So all this power that you have within you that's hidden, people feel it. That's why they don't want to be your friend anymore. My heart breaking for you because you would think this type of energy, this type of power, you want to use it for your friends. But then your friends left you, so were they really your friends? And I want to say they weren't your friends. It's just they couldn't handle the situation. They couldn't handle being compared to you all the time. They couldn't handle the stuff people would say about them. They had to walk away, even if they regret it. They had to be lonely, even if they regret it, and walk away from you because they're trying to put you in this energy, and you might have even showed up in this energy at one point, but it was like, it was minimal. You might have been negative, but it was minimum. You went right back to your 9 of Pentacles just like that. And they had to leave. I'm getting they didn't want to leave. They had to leave. They couldn't stand it. They couldn't stand you. They regret it because you actually made them happy. But they have some toxic stuff within them. Some toxic envy, jealousy. They want to be you. And since they not you, they had to handle just being in your life. And once they realized that you couldn't be controlled, they felt like they had to leave. Like, look. They had to leave quickly before they're exposed. Because you're bringing out, with your talent, you're bringing out the bad in them. You're seeing the lack of strength that they have. Because they may have their own power, but because they keep comparing it to yours, which comparing isn't bad. It's just it's a tool that's always supposed to be used at certain times. People like to demonize comparing, but it's just that comparing is supposed to be used at certain times. Not all the time. Certain times it doesn't make sense to compare because, I mean, as simple as they just may be older than you. Someone who's even just 2 years older than you still is 2 years older than you. I don't know what people don't understand. Because they're trying to force this idea that someone being 5 years older than you isn't a big of a deal. And maybe after a certain point it isn't. But there's certain things that you just don't know simply because you lack those few years of living. That's why you keep getting backstabbed. That's why you keep getting betrayed. Because you still lack the knowledge. See, in this instance, this card came out here, which to me is saying you lack the travel. You lack the experience, because you can know, people can tell you stuff, right? But when you don't have the experience, you don't actually have any wisdom. Because wisdom is knowledge and experience. That's in my bio of my Instagram. It's this idea that, see, look, the fact that this is the 2 and the 3, 2 is interesting. I just noticed that. But it's like you skipped this step and you just went here. Because look, the blindfold. Because you don't want to cause any arguments, but you need to find some type of balance. You need to find some type of balance between choosing you and choosing others. You can't keep sacrificing yourself for others just to keep them comfortable. Because this is not even keeping you content anymore. You're severely unsatisfied, and now you're in the trenches. What I'm getting is you in this trap house, this horrible place when you should have the world at your fingertips. Oh, there's another card. You should be here. Oh, wow. I didn't even know that was there. But what I'm hearing is you should be at the throne, but the reason why you're not is because you don't know how to handle the emotion, I guess, of being rejected. You don't know how to walk away from things that aren't serving you because you have your own view of things. See, look, you get depressed over things that you shouldn't even be depressed about. You take on burdens and you make the wrong judgment, and you take travels that aren't yours. You take on things that are not for you. You're learning, you're helping people through lessons that are their lesson, that's not your lesson. And this is ultimately keeping you stuck. Because these people, it's not that they're bad people, it's just when you're shining, this is who they see. And to keep you out of that, they put you down. Because they don't want to be left behind. But this is going to be you. You're not going to have that gift. You're not going to have that shine. Like I was looking at myself. Having a gift, having the shine, having the talent is something that you have to nurture. Yeah, you're born with it. It's your innate gift, but it doesn't last forever. If it did, then people wouldn't turn out the way that they do. It has a limit. Make a move. It has a limit. You have choice. Make a move. If you don't, it'll go. It's like the muscle, any muscle goes. The brain, the body, when you don't use it, it goes. Make the move. Thank you for joining me in the Heart Story.